Hi, this is Mike Smith with Church Office Online. I want to welcome you to Getting Started with Church Membership Online tutorial. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to begin to add members to your new trial or paid subscription account. In order to get started, the first thing we need to do is enter the email address and password that you were given. And of course, you'll need the access to this logon page, which is www.churchmembershiponline.com. You want to make sure that when you do type in your email address and your password, that you will want to type it in as exactly as it was given to you. Passwords are case sensitive, so make sure your caps key is off when you enter your password. Once you have entered those two pieces of information, go ahead and click Login. When you log in, you'll come into the dashboard as the first page. This dashboard is populated with information and under several different areas, for instance, like attendance, events, meetings, membership counts, and it has some places for birthdays and anniversaries and also quick launches. There's also a graphs field which will be populated and updated as you enter members into your program, and also there's a map which will generate using the zip codes to give you an idea about where your members are located in your area. But first, for the purpose of this tutorial, we want to concentrate on adding attendance. Now up at the menu bar, you'll see a number of selections here. Notice two of these selections are grayed out, contributions and admin. When you were given an access level, if you're administrator, you'll be able to see all these buttons cleared. But if you are not an administrator, given a different access level, then you will see the grayed ones will not allow you to input contributions or set administrative settings. But for adding church members, all you need to go to church settings. This will pull up a page where it gives you 4 options. And 3 of them you can view, add, edit, or delete either individuals, households, or ministries. And the final one is to generate emails. For the purpose of this tutorial, again, we'll want to begin to add members. And the best way to add members is not through individuals, but through households. So we'd like you to begin by adding households. When you do that, it'll take you to a page which will ask for at least 7 fields of general information. We'll want to put in a household name, put in the address and the city, states given to us, and country. Those were set based upon what your administrator used for church settings. Postal codes can either be 5 digits or 10-digit postal codes. So you can put in the phone number. And again, this information is used for the general household information, but is also by default selected for individuals as well. And that's why building your database using households is much faster, because as you see here below, you have the opportunity to add individuals. These asterisk fields indicate that you're going to be utilizing the general information in the household for this individual as well, including last name and phone number. There is opportunity later on if you want to put in additional phone numbers or cell phones and or emails. But for now, let's begin to add members to this household before we even add the household. So let's go ahead and add individual to this household. Paul, we'll call he'll be Mel. We're not worrying about the birthday at this point. We can add it later on. Let's have Paul married. He's an adult. He's a member of the church. The membership date is unknown at this point. Again, we can go back and change this. We don't have to worry about head of household or using the full name in the directory at this point. Just go ahead and click Add Individual. And that will clear the field to add another individual. You'll see his name placed up here in the right-hand corner. Let's add another individual, his wife, Sandy, who is a female. Birth date, we're not going to worry about. Married, adult, member, so forth. And we'll go ahead and add that individual. And let's add an infant to this home. Let's add little Tim. And Tim is male. Let's say he was born just yesterday. And so we'll want to make sure that box is unchecked. Timmy is single. He is an infant. And he is a dependent. And we're not going to worry about membership date. In fact, that will gray out because that option is not available. We're going to click Timmy to add Timmy to of the household. And again, we notice in the top right-hand corner, all these people are now added to this household. If you did make a mistake, not so much in the individual, but within the fact that this individual belonged to this household, you can remove a person from the household. It will only remove their relationship to the household. It will retain their information as an individual in your database, but it will remove them from the household. It will not delete them. Once we have this information entered and there's no other individuals to be added to this household, all we have to do is simply click Add Household. Before we do, just a brief word about the other tabs that you see. You can add individuals who were added through adding individuals up here as opposed to adding households. For picture, you can also have a picture. The parameters are given up here. You simply use the Browse button, browse through your files, bring up the file, which should be in a JPEG format, hopefully, and then upload that file, and later on in the View mode, you'll see the picture of the family located up here. This feature also exists for individual files as well. Also, there's a Notes tab, which allows you to place notes in here. Not confidential notes, because your CMO administrator can add additional individuals to input data into your program, and they will be able to see this information as well. So you want to make sure that this is not a confidential information area. Finally, custom fields. Again, your administrator can create an unlimited amount of fields to either household or to individual records, and those fields can range from being a text field to a multiple choice field or a dated field. And if you would like to have a custom field that's unique to your church and types of information you want to gather, then just talk to your administrator and they will create those fields for you. It's very simple for them to do. Once you have all the information into the household that you need at this point, then just go ahead and say Add Household. Once you add the household, it will take all that information and put into the View mode. You can quickly go over that information here, and you also see the individuals on a list down here you might notice 2 of the names are in bold. That suggests that these people were automatically defaulted as head of household. That's done when you signify in member or marital type that the individual is either married or a single parent. To do so, again, automatically defaults those records to being head of household, and you don't need to indicate it any other place. In fact, when you usually see a head of household option in an individual file, it means that you're overriding the default because there's probably 3 or more adults and it's unclear what their status is, and so you want to at least point one person as head of household. So once you've done this, you need to continue to do it for each and every person in your church. Again, use household, even though they may be one person, use household to input that information in. This way, it will actually improve your report features and as well as your contribution features. And so let's move on from here. One feature to note about households is that you do have the opportunity to delete households if you so choose to do so. For instance, in the case that you created a household and that was incorrect, simply click it here, choose it for deletion. You can choose one or more, and then click delete. Again, a page will come up reminding you about the households you've chosen to delete. Also, it gives you the option just to delete the household, but not to delete the individual that belonged to the household. And in most cases, that's what happens. But sometimes you will want to delete a household and all individuals that belong to that household. And one note about this is that if you should choose to do that, anytime you delete an individual record, you also are going to be deleting any other information that is associated with that record, such as contributions or attendance. And so you want to make sure that contribution reports are produced and given to the family if you use CMO for contributions. So make sure that takes place before you do it. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and begin to add members to your church membership online program. And we'll see you back for the next tutorial that will explain about calendar, attendance, and reports.